took it too. You call Riley? Did you took it, Riley?
in Visp and Raron. It's also the last day of the group race, and this is the second group race, the second of Group B from Raron against the fourth of Group A2. And that would be Team Finland against Team Portugal. Thanks to all our sponsors and partners, municipality of Visp and Raron, en ook die AGV's, Leukerzone, Life Systems, Metzgerijtzoeker, Oxford AG, Sikapal AG, Volkengroep, Walliser Nationalbank, Alex Arena, and of course all welcome to all players, coaches, staff, and their supporters. Number 4, after Carpinian. 96, Amy Eklund. 21, Jesse Kilmanini. And the second goal for the league is 31, Vilhelm Kusamo. Coach and trainer of Team Finland is Antti Koskela. An extra welcome to Team Portugal in Arena, their first game here, and this is the lineup. In goal, number 50, João Fernandes. 77, Dani Roja. 88, Christopher Creador. 96, Alex Newton. 3, Zakaria Correa. 93, Alan Correa. 17, Tyler Cruz. 24, Andrew Gilbo. 25, Dylan Garcia. 39, Nelson Pacheco. 19, Ricardo Pires. 4, Mike Amaral. Number 30, Matthew Bellissimo. 9, Dustin Macbeth. 55, Marco Diaz. 14, Derek Chavez. 11, Ethan Nunez. 97, Nick Senna. 67, Jonathan D'Andrade. 91, Matthew Araco. And the second goal for Team Portugal, 35, Justin Cruz. Coach and trainer of Team Portugal is Patrice. Today's referees are Ashok Kagadu and Trevor Jarvis. That's what I love, teams. Welcome, Team Portugal. And on the other side, Team Blue. Welcome, Team Finland.
Welcome back, hockey fans. Got a good one for you here. Start of the third period, Finland in blue playing Portugal in their traditional red. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Chris Bacano. Is happy to have you back with us here. So the winner of this game will move into the men's A division playoffs. The loser will end up in the B division playoffs, so a lot to play for both teams. This should be an exciting matchup. Looking forward to see how this one shakes out as Finland has the ball down low. Finland finished 4th in their A pool group. Portugal, the number 2 seed in the B pool group. Picked up by Finland, walking in all alone. Pass, shot, score! Finland goes up early, just a minute and 21 seconds into the game. On a quick pass, one-timer. No chance for the Portuguese netminder. Hey, if you want to get live scoring in effect, you can always go to stats.isbhf.com. As the referee heads over to the scorer's box. See who they give the goal to here in just a moment as Portugal gains the neutral zone, dumps it in down deep.
121, goal to Finland. Scored by number 8, and then assisted by 13, and assisted by number 18,
Okay, so the goal was by number 8, Henrik Karkainen, assisted by number 13, Sami Pietzalo, along with number 18, Juho Kangas. As Finland takes the ball up through the neutral zone here. Finland with it deep into the Portugal zone. Sent in back down deep. Finland working a cycle here. Back up to the point. Long shot deflected off a stick into the boards. Still at the point. Long shot. High off the glass. Comes right out in front. Loose ball. Finally gloved down by the Portuguese netminder. Oh, that was a dangerous play there for Portugal. As the referee adjusts the nets, we'll see if we get a look at that on the replay here. Well, I don't think we're going to get a replay on that as we are back to action here. Face off, one back by the Finns. One-timer shot. Oh, great save. Rebound scooped up by Portugal. Wraparound attempt, walking it alone, another great save. Looks like the Portugal netminder has brought his A game today, even though they're down 1-0. There's nothing he could do about that one-timer. So we have a flooring call with 11:53 left. You see here on the replay, the shot comes out off the glass and then took a bounce, fortunate for Finland, right onto the Finnish player's stick. But the Portugal netminder in good position there, just swallowed up the rebound. And now that our printer has finally started working, I can tell you that the Portuguese netminder is Sean Fernandez. Apologize for the delay on that. Some technical difficulties up here in the bird box. And it looks like the aforementioned Fernandez is having some technical issues right now as well with his equipment. So we will allow the referee some time to do his job there. And just to recap the scoring, Henrik Karkainen from Pietzalo and Kangas on the goal. Antti Laine, number 1 for Finland, is in net for them. Been sharp throughout this tournament as well. I mean, all the goaltenders have been sharp. Obviously, they wouldn't be here if they weren't World Championship level goalkeepers, as Finland gets a break into the Portugal zone. Went off of a foot, high off the glass, picked up by Finland back behind the net, dumped along the far boards, centered in front, onto the stick of the Finnish player. And we get a whistle here. It's like inadvertent high stick, and the face-off will back down deep into the Portugal zone. So as I mentioned before, this is what we call a relegation game in the ISBHF. And this was introduced to try and ensure that we have fair and balanced competition here at the World Championships. So in the men's A division and the men's B division, as Portugal dumps it in, periodically there are teams in the B division that will just simply dominate, right? They, for whatever reason, have a better roster than they thought they would. They just gel exceptionally well. You know, the B pool is more for teams that are up and coming, but also, while they may be traditional like France, are not necessarily ball hockey powerhouses, right? Like the French team is comprised primarily of, you know, local French and Swiss ice hockey players. So they're not really going to compete at the same level as like the Czechs and the Canadians and the Slovaks. So the B pool was created really to give, you know, teams a fair chance to compete with people of equal skill and caliber. And in order to continue that tradition here at the ISBHF, we introduced this relegation game to ensure that if there was a team in the B pool, as Pires for Portugal walks in all alone, rebound comes off the high glass, and then Antti swallows it up. Getting back to my point about the B pool here. So if there's a B pool team that ends up dominating the B pool, right, it's not fair to the other B pool teams that have trained for a year and a half to end up, you know, getting annihilated by a B pool team that really belongs in the A pool. So the relegation games are designed for the teams that do well, the top two in the B pool, which this year, Lebanon was #1. They lost, as you saw, 3-0 to Haiti. And Portugal is second in the B pool, playing against Finland. For those teams to compete in the A pool, right, and if they can win, they'll earn a chance to compete for, you know, as we say, the big cheese, right, the big trophy, the men's A division world champion. As the ball gets rattled around, we're going to have a penalty here on Portugal. So Finland pulls the netminder. Pass comes in down deep. Finland passes it across, back in down low. Shot goes wide. And we're going to get a whistle here as Portugal chops it up. We'll see what the call is. Holding. We'll see which defending player heads over to the box. I think that is number 93 for Portugal, Adam Carrera, as soon as he turns around. Yep. So Carrera head off 2 minutes for holding, with 10 minutes remaining here in the opening period. 1-0 Finland. Your goal scorer, Henrik Karkainen, assisted by Sami Pietsalo and Juho Kangas. And then in getting back to the skill differential, right, so sometimes teams are in the A division because they moved up from the B pool, and they end up getting, for lack of a better term, right, dismantled by the better A division teams. And in reality, they probably belong in the B pool. So that's what we have these relegation games for, right? We want to help ensure fairness. And as you saw in the game before, right, Lebanon and Haiti, it was close, right? It's 3-0. You know, that's not a blowout. Yes, Lebanon did not score a goal, but it shows that they can certainly compete, you know, with maybe not all the teams, but some of the teams in the A division. So, you know, hats off to Lebanon. Obviously, hats off to Haiti as well for getting the W. Staying in the men's A division. They will be the number 8 seed, and they will face the Czech Republic, who are the number 1, or pardon me, is that Canada? I might have my standings mixed up here. Let me go check stats.isbhf.com, and I'll tell you in a second here. So Canada had 11 points, and the Czech Republic had 10. So my apologies on that. Haiti, I believe, will face Canada, unless the ISBHF has changed the rules. One-timer shot. Good pad save there. Nice lateral movement by Fernandez as Portugal gets the clear. Finland looking to gain the line. Okay, apologize for the technical difficulties there. Had an innocent bystander dislodge one of the microphone cables, but that has been corrected. While we were having those technical difficulties, obviously Finland scored a goal. Apologies for the Finnish fans that missed that.
Assisted by 39, and assisted by 87,
So number 54, Lori Vittinen, gets the goal, assisted by number 39, Valtteri Vidakovsky, and second assist goes to Tony Lampo. Again, apologize for the technical difficulties, folks, up here in the Bird Box. There's a lot of volunteers for the tournament organizing committee and the ISBHF trying to make this happen. And just sometimes, right, people trip over wires. It happens. Back to the action. As Portugal gets some wholesale line changes, as does Finland. Long outlet pass there was right on the tape, but it looks like it was mishandled momentarily by Zachary Correa. He is now hemmed in along the far boards. Finland trying to push this ball out of neutral zone. They got two people there now on the ball. I hear the referee screaming at them to move it, move it. All right, so Finland takes control. Portugal now in the zone. Cross-floor pass. Goes all the way across over to Nunes. Nunes now wheeling and dealing, dumps it in down low. Centering attempt as Nunes tried to give and go. It's unsuccessful. Finland gathers the ball up over the neutral zone. Trying to see if there was something going on the Portugal bench. A lot of players were talking, so apologize. There's the ball. Kareem's off the post. I don't know if there was an injured player or something happened, but there were several players that were looking backwards talking there as Finland tried a centering pass that went awry, and we're probably going to have a flooring call here as neither team is going to be able to beat that ball all the way down. 5:51 remaining here. I'm checking the Portugal bench now, and whatever it was, it doesn't seem like it's an issue, so apologies for the distraction. 2-0 Finland. Again, you can get live scoring in effect on stats.isbhf.com. There's a link directly to it from our homepage. Getting ready for the draw here. Finland walking it in. Shot goes off of a leg, picked up by Portugal. Ball is headmanned across the red line. They were trying to catch Pires into the zone, but a little too far ahead of his stick, and we'll get a flooring call. Face-off will come back down deep into the Portugal zone. Referee signals that the line changes are over as there was a late change there for Portugal, so Diaz, number 55, comes on. And we're ready for the draw to the right of the Portugal netminder, Sean Fernandez. Portugal trying to carry it in through the neutral zone. Chris Criador, the captain. Sent it cross floor over to Marco Diaz. Diaz tried to push the ball forward. Finnish player lost his stick. Ball rolled a little too far. Now Finland picks it up behind their net. Long shot from the point, easily stick to side. Both players take a tumble there. I was looking at the far referee to see if there was going to be a call because the near referee said it was good hockey. Sometimes the far referee is a turnaround attempt is stymied. Sometimes the far referee sees a different angle and will make the call, but no call in the play there. Finland still in possession of the Portugal zone, approaching the 4-minute mark remaining here. Finland has dominated possession and offensive zone time here. As the ball trickles up towards the red line, kept in. Finland has it now down low. Trying the centering attempt, went off of a foot. Picked up by Diaz. Banked up along the boards. Portugal giving chase, streaking down the wing. Easily waffled the side off of the stick of Ethan Nunes. Good hustle play by Nunes. Finland playing pitch and catch in their zone. Back behind the net. Centered towards the far boards. Back to center, intercepted by Portugal. Try and gain the zone and get some sustained pressure here. As number 13, Matthew Verissimo gives chase. He's bodied off and Finland player goes down. No call as the ball is swallowed up by the Finnish netminder. Antti Laine has not seen a lot of shots so far. 2:52 remaining. Face off one back along the far boards. Long centering attempt goes between a Portugal player and a Finnish player, so that'll be a flooring call, and the face off will come back down deep into the Finland zone. As we see number 19, Ricardo Pires up on the Jumbotron. He was in Buffalo last year, part of the Portugal Masters team, one of the older players in this tournament, but obviously still capable. Outstanding ball handler, has a heck of a shot. Even though he's running around with a lot of these younger players, he's certainly showing his mettle. Ball finally taken up by Finland in the Portugal zone. Dropped off, mishandled, goes back towards the red line. Going to be dumped back in by Portugal, or by Finland, but intercepted by Portugal as Perez picks it back up. Finland playing a bit of pitch and catch here in their zone, content to just kill some time. Currently nursing a 2-0 lead. You've heard me say it many times during the broadcast this week, folks, right? What's the worst lead in sports? 2-0 hockey. For whatever reason, 2-0 in hockey just seems to lull you into a comfort zone. And especially at this level, anytime you get into the elite level of ball hockey, getting lulled into a comfort zone is the last thing you want to have happen, because you end up losing momentum. And as anybody who's played any kind of sports will tell you, momentum is a funny thing. You can't quantify it. You can't really describe it to people who have never played. As Finland gets a goal on a nice wrist shot, I believe that went far corner. We'll have to see on the replay if that went far corner, if it was short side, but they go up 3-0. And I believe the goal scorer is number 13, Sammy Piazzalo. Waiting to look at the replay here. I can't see it from that angle. Oh, yep, so that went far side. And I believe it was Sammy Piazzalo. So getting back to momentum, right? So like, you can't quantify it, you can't describe to people who've never played sports, you know, how momentum can change games and how it can affect certain play styles and whatnot, you know. But when you have momentum and you go up 2-0, the last thing you want to do is lose the momentum, right? But for whatever reason in hockey, when you go up 2-0, it just forces you to take a little bit off your foot off the gas. And conversely, for the other team, it gives them a sense of urgency, because they know they go down 3, the mountain to climb to get back into the game becomes much, much harder. So 2-0, for whatever reason, almost becomes like a reverse momentum type of score, where you would think the team that's up 2-0 has all the momentum in the world, when in reality, the majority of the time, it's the team that's down 0-2 that does all they can to try and gain momentum, as the Portugal netminder Fernandez gives the water bottle back to his training staff and heads back towards the net. So Finland going up 3-0 here is huge, and that's why Portugal just took a timeout, right? They want to try and climb back into this one. They're announcing the goal scorers here. So Piazzalo gets the goal, assisted by Karkkainen. So both Piazzalo and Karkkainen with 2 points on the day. That shot rang the pipe. Just making sure the referee wasn't going to look at the other referee here to see if he saw a different angle, but both referees said no, it's pipe. So 17 seconds left. And we are down to the end of the period here, so we'll be back in 10 minutes to bring you the remainder of the action, with Finland leading Portugal here in the relegation game 3-0.
Hallo, hallo. Hallo, hallo, hallo. Hallo, hallo. Hallo. Hallo.
Lass deinen Traum wahr werden. Wird zum Profi. ochsnerhockey.ch
All right, welcome back to third period action. I had to get some clarification there on the seeding, as I mentioned on the first period. So regarding seeding going into the men's elimination games in the quarterfinals as Finland loses the ball in the neutral zone. The winner of this game will face Team Canada. So Haiti, who won the earlier game, will face the Czech Republic. And as far as game times go, the winner of this game will face Canada tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. The Czech Republic will play Haiti tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. And again, these are local Swiss times. The 1 p.m. game will be the United States versus Slovakia. And the 6 p.m. game will be Greece facing off against the hometown Swiss. So 1 p.m. U.S. Slovakia, 3:30 Czech Haiti, 6 p.m. Greece and Switzerland, and then 8:30 we will finish up with Canada versus the winner of this game. And right now, Finland looking really strong as they rifle the ball back down into the Portugal zone. Picked up by Finland, trying to walk it around. Threw it in front, went off of a foot. Now that's going to go all the way out of the zone as Finland will go ahead and regroup. Finland regains possession all the way back now towards the red line. Long pass, a little bit too far. Ball caroms in, back behind the net. Finland trying to pick it up. Good job there by number 9, Dustin Macbeth for Portugal, bodying the Finnish player off the ball as Portuguese player loses their stick. Finland maintains possession. Centering attempt, shot goes just high over the crossbar. Shot. Bad save. Finland really dominating time on the attack here in this game. Finland still with possession. Laine has it. Laine regains possession. Or pardon me, Liedis. Not Laine, sorry. Down to Lampo. Poke checked away by Portugal. Chance for them to go on the counterattack here. They do not have numbers. Long shot goes high over the glass. Good hustle effort there, though, by Marco Diaz for Portugal, as they needed some line changes after he intercepted that ball in the red zone. Finland with possession, 11:30 remaining in the second period. Carrera for Portugal. Long outlet pass intercepted by Finland. Good read on the play by Risto Lindfors. Centered up to Karpinen. And we get an offsides call, so the faceoff will come back to the neutral zone. .10:57 remaining here in the second period. Finland leading Portugal 3-0 in the last of our relegation games. Again, the winner of this game will face off against Team Canada, the #1 seed in the men's A group. Czech Republic came in as the #2 seed. They were the winner of the other A group. So the men's A has A1 and A2. Canada taking care of their business in A1 as Finland walks in all alone and buries it. Forehand on the backhand. They go up 4-0, starting to run away with this one. And it looks like that goal is going to be Valtteri Vidakoski. See who they give the assist to. So the next game here will be the women's. It'll be the hometown Swiss taking on Great Britain at 7 p.m. local time. I'll be bringing you the play-by-play action for that one, as the Swiss and Great Britain will conclude their round-robin play. Long shot from the point. Gets deflected up into the mesh netting, and we will get a face-off here down low. .10-12 remaining in the second period. Finland has really turned the gears on since the beginning of this game. They are up 4-0 against Portugal. Finland gains the zone.
1924, goal Team Finland. Scored by number 39, Valtteri Vidakoski. Assisted by number 4, after Captain. Team Finland 4, Team Portugal 0.
All right, so the goal scorer as confirmed, Valtteri Vidakoski, and he was assisted by Karpinen. Ball back at the point as Finland gets some fresh legs out. Finland walking it in all alone. Good block on the defensive part there of Finland. Fakes a shot from the circle. Back up towards the red line. Taken back behind the Finland zone. Dumped in down low. Finland maintains possession. Portugal picks it up, rattles it around the boards. Good work by Diaz stealing the ball there. However, Finland, well, screaming for a call there. Now we're going to get one. Referee put his arm up immediately, as did the other ref. See what the call is. Looks like interference. See here on the replay. Well, pretty obvious for both referees there. So Matthew Araujo will head off for Portugal. Obviously not making an effort to play the ball there. So 2 minutes for interference. Finland goes back on the power play, leading 4-0. Rink announcer here just announcing the penalty against Portugal. Minute 48 left on the man advantage for Finland. In complete control of this game, they have dominated from the opening drop here. One-timer goes off of a leg onto the glass. Gathered up by Finland. Finland playing pitch and catch, back to the point, down low. Centering attempt, good block by Portugal. Back to the point. Finland still with possession. Over to the point. Good block there by Portugal as they do manage to get it out of the zone. 50 seconds remaining on the man advantage here. Finland regains the zone. Back to Niemen at the point. Down low towards the circle. Cross. Nice save on the quick one-time effort by number 13, Sami Piazzalo. 41 seconds remaining on the man advantage here, as you see on the replay. Good lateral movement there by Sean Fernandez. So game times tomorrow for the women's semifinal. We have a couple of rivalry games. Canada taking on the United States to kick off the day, 8 a.m. local time. And then at 10:30, it will be the Czech Republic taking on Slovakia. Canada, the number 2 seed, take on the number 3 seed, United States, and then the number 1 seed, Czech Republic, will take on the number 4 seed, Slovakia. There were 7 total teams in the women's division, so Switzerland, unfortunately for them, did not make the medal qualification round. They finished 5th. Great Britain and the United Nations are the other 2 teams that did not qualify for the medal qualification round. They finished 6th and 7th respectively. As Priadora bodies the player off the ball. Dumped back by Finland. Nobody there to retrieve it. Morejo with it. Sends it all the way across the floor. Walk in all alone. Glove save. Ball goes bouncing up over the net. Really the first test for Antti Laine. Has not seen a lot of shots in this game, but he was ready for that one, as Finland now potentially has a 3-on-1 unless Portugal can hustle back. Saucer pass a little too far for Finnish player. Finland gains possession. Back toward the red line. Long shot from the point. Finland playing pitch and catch at the point, now down low. Back up to the point, Lampe with it. Lampe being patient. Down to Vidakovsky. Long shot, blocked. Picked up by Portugal. Trying to get it out of the zone, they do. However, it ends up being a hand pass, so the face-off will come to the neutral zone. So some heavy action tomorrow. Starting off with the 2 women's games. Canada, US, 8 a.m. local time. Czech, Slovakia, 10:30. 1 p.m. you have Canada versus the winner of this game. At 3:30 it'll be Czech Republic versus Haiti. At 6 p.m. local time, it will be the Greeks taking on the hometown Swiss. And then at 8:30, it'll be... Or I'm sorry, the time's wrong on some of those there. 1 p.m. will be the U.S. versus Slovakia, and then 8:30 will be Canada versus the winner of this game. And we get a flooring call. Face off, one back by Portugal. Picked up by Newton. Long wrist shot from the point. It's deflected into the far corner. Centering attempt, a little too hot to handle. Ball comes into the near corner and then picked up by Finland. Looking for a centering attempt, blocked by Portugal. Newton has it, loses it. Poke check being given chase is Alex Newton. Portugal trying to walk that one in. Finland able to deflect it, and they go on the counterattack here. Drop pass, Finland with an opportunity. Oh, good poke check there by Portugal. As the ball comes all the way to the near glass. The stick of Amaral fired it back over to his partner, Danny Roca. Portugal dumps it into the Finland zone. Portugal really hasn't had any sustained time in the Finnish zone. Really have had only 2 scoring chances, and I believe only one of those ended up going on net. Walking in by Finland all alone, shot. Good save by Sean Fernandez. Another defensive breakdown by Portugal with 2 minutes remaining here in the second period. Finland in complete command of this game. Another save. Finland up 4-0. Now, Finland is an interesting team here in terms of how they've performed. So they played a great 2 1/4 period against the Czech Republic, who, along with Canada, I would say, in my own personal opinion, I'm certainly not speaking on behalf of. Oh, centering attempt here, forehand, backhand just goes wide. Not speaking on behalf of the ISBHF or the Visp Tournament Organizing Committee. I'd have to say, based on the hockey I've seen so far, Canada and the Czech Republic are the 2 favorites. Would not be shocked to see them meet in a repeat of the 2022 World Championship men's gold medal game. But getting back to Finland, they, as we get a whistle here, and we're going to have a penalty. So hooking will be the call. As it looks like number 53 for Finland, that'll be R2 Vittinen heading off into the box. Finland went up 2-0 on the Czech Republic. They looked like they were in complete control of that game. And then, as I mentioned about 2-0 being the worst lead in hockey, for whatever reason, and I say this just trying to, be balanced here in my commentary, not criticizing the Finnish coaching staff. Finland basically tried to sit back and protect a 2-0 lead against the Czechs. And when I say that, for the last 10 minutes of that game, the Czech Republic probably had 30 shot attempts. It was probably 30 shot attempts. Czech Republic ended up tying the game, right? And then they go into a shootout where they win it. And now you find Finland here in a relegation game. Whereas if Finland would have won that game, potentially could have changed everything and put the United States in the #1 seed. And just change really the dynamic of the tournament, right? From Finland's perspective, the Czech Republic, the United States perspective. So Finland is very much a tale of two teams as Portugal's on the power play here. They have it back behind Liney. So I guess my point is, I'm starting to sound like I'm rambling. When Finland is playing well, they are playing really well. They look like a team that can really compete. However, when they went into that shell against the Czech Republic just took it to them. And you can't do that against good teams. So maybe Finland learned their lesson. I still think they're going to be a tough out. If they do end up winning this game against Canada, I think they're going to give Canada a heck of a game. They've put in a lot of hard work. Finland was the silver medalist in 2019. Disappointing finish in 2022. So coming back here in 2024, we'll see how things shake out if they win this game. In any event, we'll be back. 9 minutes, 30 seconds left in the break between second and third period.
Lass deinen Traum wahr werden. Wird zum Profi. ochsnerhockey.ch
Team Canada tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. The fourth of the 4 men's elimination games for the medal round. Portugal gains control. They are on the man advantage now for another 48 seconds. Pires down low. Over to Roja. Back to Pires. Pires walk it in, try to center attempt, blocked. Gained by Portugal. Portugal still with possession here. Shot goes high over the crossbar, all the way out of the zone, as Pires is unable to keep that in. Shot blocked. Good positional save there by Liney. Taken by Finland back behind the net. Waiting to get some line changes here. They'll start working the ball. Get a whistle here and the face-off will come back down into the Finland zone. 13:20 remaining here in the third period. Chipped in by Finland down low, and the ball went off of, I believe, a player on the Finland bench. We'll see where the refs put this for the face-off. So face off here as it's covered by Portugal. See on the replay here, Finland walking in all alone. Tried to go high, but ended up off chest protector and then covered up. And it looks like we have a goaltending change here for Portugal now, as number 35, Justin Cruz, is in net for Portugal. Face-off picked up by Portugal. Back at the zone. Correa with it. Sends it down over to Verissimo. Back to the point. Oh, dangerous play there. Almost lost possession. They do, but that, no. Referee blows that off. That is not going to be a flooring call. Portugal tries to gain possession. Oh, loose ball there. Mishandled by Portugal. Turned over to Finland. Going to try and give and go here. Wheeling and dealing into the center floor. One too many passes. Good defensive stick work there by number 39 for Portugal, Nelson Pacheco. As Portugal's going to make some changes here. So Pacheco with it. Sends it up to the captain, Creador. Creador rifles it in down low. Picked up behind the net by Finland. Creador with it. Dumps it back in down low. Finland doing a good job with the body work there. Keeping the hockey clean. Referee yelling, move it, move it. Still a battle along the near boards. Now the ball somehow gets punched back behind the Finland net. Picked up by number 4, Mike Amaral. for those Portuguese fans at home, I certainly apologize if I mispronounce any of your names. Do want to give a shout out to former Portugal goalie and recent ISBHF Hall of Famer Daniel Medeiros. Daniel represented Portugal for many years at the World Ball Hockey Championships, and as I mentioned, he's a Hall of Famer. Absolutely loves the program, big supporter of them. You know, Daniel and his family watch it back home. Bowling for Portugal. Good kick save there by Cruz. As the face-off, pardon me, as the ball goes back down below the face-off circle, and Portugal player just lost their stick, so there was an injury, there wasn't. Finland takes possession. Back to the point. Finland still with the point. Over to the far boards, fakes a shot. One-time pass. Was not actually one-timed, but rifled in down low via wrist shot. Ball goes off a foot. I think that was the foot of Marco Diaz. Finland maintains possession at the point. Picked up by Finland. Arjeda has it. Back to the point. All the way across towards the far boards. Finland gains the blue line again. Now misplays it onto the stick of Portugal. Bouncing ball. Both teams having trouble handling it. Now ends up on the stick of Finland. Give and go. Trip. We're going to get a penalty here as the shot goes into the back of the net. Finland will go up 5-0. Trying to see who that goal scorer is from my vantage point. I think that's number 39, Valtteri Vidakoski. That would be his second of the game. Check here on the replay as Cruz gets himself some water. Get some words of encouragement from Pereira. Look, nothing Cruz could do on that, right? I mean, that's just a great hockey play there. And honestly, Portugal should have got that ball out of the zone earlier. Mentioned it was a bouncing ball, but... So he made the initial save, and then Garcia overran the ball. Picked up by Vidakoski. You know, Cruz dives across, but what can you do, right? Well, goalie myself, I'll tell you, can't make every save. Chipped in down low by Finland. 9 minutes remaining here in the game. Long shot, blocked. Well, here's a fun fact regarding Portugal, courtesy of the aforementioned recent ISBHF Hall of Famer Daniel Medeiros. This will be Finland's first ever win versus Portugal. They currently stand at 2 losses and a tie prior to this game. So thanks for that fun fact, Mr. Medeiros. All you Finnish fans at home who happen to speak English and can hear me rambling on in this game, sure would appreciate the fact that this would be your first win ever against Portugal. Well, referee's got his hand up here. It's going to be another call against Portugal, unfortunately, as the Finland netminder heads to the bench. So they now have 6-on-5. Back to the point. Just under 8 minutes remaining here. Trying to watch the play here. Looks like Finland's going to try and get set up for that centering attempt. Got 2 players down between the dots. So back towards the near boards, down low. Back to the near boards, should go back to the point, then one more point, then down low. There we go. The shot's blocked. Back to the point. Far boards, walking it in, waiting for the open lane. Deflected by Portugal. Still can't gain possession. Here's a shot down low. Oh, what a save! Outstanding save there by Cruz. I'll tell you, Finland did some good ball movement there. I mean, look, it's 5-0, right? I think it's reasonable to say they're going to win this game. I can't imagine that Portugal is somehow going to turn on the Jets and, you know, put 6 goals up here in 7 minutes. I could be wrong, right? Stranger things happen. This is the world of sports. But based on everything I've seen so far, I think it's more than reasonable to say Finland's going to walk away with this W and go on to face Canada in the men's 8 pool. In any event, the Portugal player has gone to the box. As I mentioned before, you can get stats on stats.isbhf.com. And that is Zachary Correa, who headed off for Portugal as they gain the zone here in neutral. Slashing was the call there for Correa. So Portugal trying to kill some time. Creator had it, lost possession, back to Finland. They gain the zone, Karkainen with it. Drops it down to Vintnen, number 54, cross floor. Portugal in a diamond right now. Finland, far boards. Trying to see where that number 8 is moving. See if he's trying to find open spot, if they're set up for a one-timer. Number 8 did not seem to be moving too much, so I'm going to presume Finland's going to try a one-time attempt here instead of getting it to a bumper position where number 8 was. Yeah, he's moved down low behind the net. Long shot from the point, goes off of a foot, right back to the point. One-time attempt. Banned. Back to Vintnen. For the Lindfors, or pardon me, that was not Lindfors, that was Bolin. Down low, shot, score, Finland, make it 6-0 there on the power play. The referee blows the whistle and is talking to Finland about something. Well, Chris Creador is standing there, I will say, looking angrily at Finland about something. I don't know about what. I mean, it's 6-0, it's a relegation game, yes. Would I take umbrage to a team celebrating a goal when it's 6-0? Yeah, I would. I think Creador has a right if that's what he's taking umbrage as here. Although, there are some purists that I happen to, and again, I speak personally, I'm not speaking on behalf of tournament organizing committee, the ISBHF. This is just me, Chris Picano. It's my personal opinion when it comes to sports purists, like unwritten rules of football and baseball. It's like baseball is loaded with them. There's a lot of unwritten rules of hockey, right? You know, what constitutes a reasonable celebration? Listen, it's a world championship. I don't care that this is a relegation game, right? You just scored a goal in a world championship. Number one, it's extremely hard to make a world championship team. You need to be the best of the best. Number two, it's really hard to get put on the power play on a world championship team. You need to be the best of the best of the best. Number three, it's really hard to score a goal in a world championship. You need to beat the best of the best of the best. So, you know, Creador has a right to take some umbrage there at 6-0, but at the same time, that Finland player that scored a goal, that guy has a right to celebrate too, you know? So it's good hockey on both sides. I can see both sides arguing. But to you purists out there who say, well, that Finland player shouldn't be celebrating at 6-0. Hey, man, the guy just scored a goal here in a world championship, okay? Yes, it's not the greatest goal ever scored. It's a power play goal, right? He's probably scored that goal 1,000 times in his career. But it's at the World Championships, you know? Let him have his moment in the sun. That's all. That's my point. I'll step down off of my soapbox. The ball taken into the Portugal zone. Shot Good positional save there. Bruce taking care of business. Four minutes, 50 seconds remaining here. Finland that much time away from advancing to face the #1 seed Canada tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. local time. The fourth of the men's quarterfinal games. Ball skirts through to a Finland stick. Shot, I believe that went in. No, referee says no. From my vantage point, Finland's arguing vehemently. Now look, here we go again, right, with the hockey purists. It's 6-0. What are you arguing for? From my vantage point, it looked like the guy scored. We're going to get a timeout for video review. You know, let's be pragmatic here, right? It's 4:36 left. Finland's controlled the play from, you know, the start of the game. But again, it's a world championship, right? Guy scores a goal in a world championship. He deserves the right to have his little moment in the sun. So they should take the time to look at it. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Should I just put that wider?
You'll talk to me right away. You gonna flip it when I come into it? Flip it when I go into it?
So you see here on the replay, ball trickled over to number 77, Liedis. Here comes the shot. Yeah, that went back bar. That's a goal. That is absolutely a goal. That's why we have video review here, folks. Take another look from this angle. Well, you can't see it from that specific replay, but everybody on Finland said it was a goal. Here's the angle where you can clearly see it, right? Watch. Shot, back bar, bang. Comes right down between the legs of Cruz. Finland had celebrated. All right, and so that goal, you know, if it stands, right, I believe that was number 77, Antti Liedis. He's yet to get on the scoring sheet. You know, good for him. Good, let him celebrate. Goal. Okay, here you go. You know what? Maybe that's the only time the guy ever scores a goal in a world championship, right? And if you were his mom, his dad, brother, sister, family, friend, lover, right, kid, you know, how would you feel if that was his only chance to ever score a goal and it was taken away? So all you hockey purists out there, man, I don't want to hear it. It's World Championships. Somebody scores a goal, it deserves to be celebrated. I don't care if it's 20-0, right, or 2-0. Goal is a goal. It's so hard to make these teams. It's so hard to get to this level. And if you have the ability to put the ball in the back of the net against a World Championship level goaltender like Cruz, good for you.
14-17.
See who they give the assist. Liedis with the goal. So he's assisted by Antti Vatanen and number 8, Henrik Karkkainen. Well, Karkkainen's got 3 points on the game. Four minutes, 21 seconds left here. Finland with possession, back down behind the net. 7-0 over Team Portugal, who came in second in the B division. So they will head back down to compete for the B division gold medal. Portugal and Lebanon were the two teams that qualified for these what we call relegation games. And again, just being honest in my commentary here in terms of which teams were the two best coming out of the B division, in my opinion, it was clearly Portugal and Lebanon. I expect those two to end up meeting for the gold medal in the B pool. You know, if they don't, it's going to take an upset from one of the other teams, whether that's, you know, Bermuda played a couple of good games, right? You know, Cayman Islands played a good game. I guess my point here is Portugal and Lebanon, both of them, are while they're playing really well, neither of them, in my opinion, are unbeatable. I just think it's going to take a, you know, let's say a very, very strong effort to knock off Portugal or to knock off Lebanon for the gold medal game. 3-on-2 for Finland. Shot. Bad save. As that shot came off the stick of number 6, Alexi Lampy, who has not seen a lot of floor time. So back to my point with the hockey purists, right? You know, well, oh, what? Look at this guy, right? He's running down the floor, firing one-timers, you're up 7-0. And man, guy hasn't seen a lot of floor time, right? It's the World Championships, you know. What do you expect him to do? Not shoot? Then you have those other people on the other side of the aisle, right, who are, you know, the extreme anti-purists, or like, call them the Bill Belichick's of the world. Well, if you don't like it, stop it. Well, listen, man, all things in moderation, I guess, is what I'm saying. I'm not going to criticize Alexi Lampy for unleashing a howitzer on Justin Cruz being up 7-0 with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game on a 3-on-2. I'll tell you that. And who knows? You know, maybe the coaching staff, because Finland is playing in a relegation game, is like, hey, guys, we need to get some momentum, right? You don't know what's going on in that locker room. The Finlish, I keep saying Finlish. Man, I need to get a better night's sleep. You know, part of the problem is over here in Europe, they just don't have air conditioning. And I happen to be from Florida. And I can't remember the last time I haven't slept without air conditioning on. I will admit I have an unhealthy addiction to air conditioning. So assuming I get a good night's sleep at some point here in my tiny little European hotel room and I stop saying Finlish, the Finnish coach could absolutely be screaming at these guys at the hotel, on the bus ride here. You know, we need to get more balls on net. We need to be working on our shots. Anytime you get a shot, right, I want a hard shot on net. Just like you saw there, right? See, guy at the point, he's got traffic in front. I mean, he's unleashing, you know, a freaking cannon. Say, well, it's 7-0. What's the point? What difference does it make, right? Whether you win 7-0 or 12-0, it's not going to change who you face. Well, they need to work on their game. You know, again, this is a Finland team that was up 2-0 on the Czech Republic. Now, I didn't call that game. My partner in crime, Andy Nemchek, did for the Czech fans, because Andy speaks Slovak, and Slovak and Czechs are not identical, but, you know, very, very similar languages, right? I mean, I would say it's kind of like Irish and Scottish, basically, right? They can understand each other. Most of the words are the same, but, you know, if an Irishman walks into a Scottish bar and says top of the morning, you know, he might wind up getting a beer bottle smashed over his head as Finland breaks in and they go top shelf to get goal number 8. So, again, listen, it's 8-0. You know, they're not celebrating extremely, but my point going back to what the Finnish coach might be saying is, hey guys, we were up 2-0 against the Czechs. We sat back in a shell for the better part of 10 minutes, right? And we let the Czech team climb back in it by firing 55,672 shots against our goalkeeper, you know, who couldn't stop them all. And I don't ever want to see that happen again. And so help me God, if one of you guys has an opportunity to shoot the ball at that and you don't see it, you're sitting a period. You don't know what he's saying. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here as we reach under the 20-second mark. But for all of the casual hockey fans out here, listen, man, you don't know what these coaches are saying, right? So yes, it's 8-0. Guy took a clapper really hard at the end of the game. That's going to do it, right? So, Cruz takes his helmet off here. So Finland will advance to face Canada. Portugal back down to compete for gold in the men's B pool. You know, my point is Finland wants to have some momentum going against Canada, right? So now they hang 8 on Portugal, and now they feel like, you know what, we can put the ball in the back of the net. Maybe we should have had 4 against the Czech. You know, maybe we should have kept our foot on the gas. You know, now suddenly we remember how to shoot. Now we remember how to make crisp passes. We remember how to finish on 3-on-nothings, right? Or probably on 3-on-2s. So I tip my cap to Finland. I also tip my cap to Portugal. Hey, man, they showed up to play. They played hard, right? They obviously came to compete. Hey, they could have mailed it in, right? They could have sat their top, 2 lines and, for the majority of the game and tried to rest legs, to compete for the B pool medal. They played everybody. They played the whole roster. They came out here. They tried to compete hard. So good for them. That's what hockey's all about. Again, it's a world championship, man. These guys have worked so hard to get here, man. And when you're here at a world championship, you really don't appreciate the speed of the game until you're here. As an example, if you think like the All-Stars in your rec league are fast, just take the best of them and then multiply that 1,000 of those people, right? And then you get to the provincial level, take 100 of those, and then you have to select from 100 of those people. And you can only pick 25. Like, it's the best of the best of the best. It's so hard to play at this level, so good for them. As number 9 for Portugal wins player of the game, Dustin Macbeth. Don't recall calling his name, but the coaches are the ones who pick the player of the game. Well, no surprise for Finland. Valtteri Vidakoski wins it, number 39. He had a goal and a couple of helpers. I feel like I've called his name quite a bit. Partly because he's got a Polish name, like mine, Bokuniewicz Vidakoski. As we get photographs with renowned ISBHF president, Mr. Elio Pascuzzo, in the center of the photo, wearing a nice white cardigan. Might have to start calling him Cardigan for the rest of the night. Elio was with us at the top of the Elishir Glacier today for the world record that we set for the highest elevation ever to hold a street hockey game between Canada and the Czech Republic. I was there myself. See the videos. I was hanging around in the costume as they play the Finnish national anthem. Check out the highlights on Instagram. I'll be back for the start of our final game of the day, which will be the women hometown Swiss in the building, getting ready to take the floor. And we expect that to be a good one. Going to be a lot of fans in attendance as they try to get a W against Great Britain. Anyway, folks, we'll see you back for the start of that one. That'll be at 7 p.m. local time here. Talk to you then.
See you then.